What happens when a social media post meant to score political points ends up creating the exact opposite reaction? That's exactly what this discussion explores. A post comparing Donald Trump and Barack Obama when they were younger quickly sparked thousands of reactions online, with many people drawing their own comparisons between the two leaders, not just in those photos, but throughout their careers. In this exchange, you'll hear arguments about Trump's frequent references to former President Obama, the public reaction to one of his latest posts, and the broader debate over political messaging, image, and leadership. Is this simply another example of social media amplifying partisan politics, or does it reveal something deeper about how modern political narratives are shaped? As you watch, pay close attention to the evidence, the comparisons being made, and the reasoning behind each argument. Do you think the criticism is justified, or do you believe the reaction has been exaggerated? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear your perspective. If you enjoy balanced political commentary and analysis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now let's watch the discussion together, and I'll share my thoughts once it's over.
Right now, Donald Trump is getting absolutely roasted across social media over one of his latest posts. He thought this was going to make him look good. Instead, it did the exact opposite. As we all know, Trump is extremely active on social media. He posts constantly, day and night, on just about every topic. But this particular post caught a lot of people's attention because many believe it backfired instead of helping his image. And before we get into it, let me just say, Trump is obsessed with Obama. He cannot stop talking about him, cannot stop posting about him. And that is exactly what's got him in trouble today. So yesterday at 12 p.m., Trump posted a side-by-side image of him when he was younger and when Obama was younger. The caption says, Donald Trump 20 and Barack Obama 18 years old. Here's the thing, Obama in that photo looks genuinely cool. Hat on, cigarette in his mouth, completely unbothered, just a regular, effortlessly cool young man. Trump, on the other hand, looks stiff and uncomfortable. He just doesn't match that energy. So posting these two side by side wasn't the flex Trump thought it was. And what's actually interesting about this photo is the context, because of course, Trump will never talk about the context. According to Midas Touch, Trump wasn't actually 20 in that photo. He was between 17 and 18. And he wasn't there by choice. His parents sent him to that military boarding school because of behavioral issues and bullying. He now uses the photo to pretend that he was in the military. He was never in the military. He dodged the draft 5 times. So at 18 or 17, however old Trump was in this photo, he was at boarding school because he was bullying people and he had behavioral issues. Obama, on the other hand, was just chilling, living his life. And of course, many users responded by making their own comparisons between Trump's life and Obama's at similar ages. For example, years later after this photo was taken, people pointed to Obama graduating from Harvard Law. The idea is simple. If Trump wants to play the comparison game, others can do the same. Some also compared Obama becoming president at age 46, while Trump at 46 was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Here's another one. When Trump was 47, still hanging out with his buddy Epstein, even brought his children to see Epstein. Obama, on the other hand, was winning a Nobel Peace Prize. Here's another one. When Trump was 53, he was still hanging out with Epstein. When Obama was 53, he had a beautiful family. He was in the White House, elected president of the United States. So who's looking better over time? The answer is pretty obvious. And of course, Donald Trump is not only obsessed with Barack Obama, he's obsessed with basically any Democrat out there. Later that same day, Trump shared an AI-generated image on social media showing Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Kamala Harris wearing hats that say, "I lost to Trump." The post also drew criticism because Joe Biden has never lost a presidential election to Donald Trump. He's won 1 and lost 0. So obviously Joe Biden is not applicable to this photo, but it just shows you that Donald Trump is still obsessed with all of his opponents. And speaking of obsession, just the other day, Trump proved exactly how deep it runs. A journalist asked him about the reflecting pool renovation, pointing out that back in April, Trump said the job would be done in a week for about $1 million. 2 months later, the cost had ballooned to $16.5 million. Instead of answering directly, he brings up Obama out of nowhere for no reason. Let's play this clip.
We stood here with you in April when you first revealed the plans.
I said what?
In April, you showed us pictures of what you were going to do at the pool, and you said you had a guy who was going to do it in a week for about $1 million.
Well,
it's been 2 months, $16.5 million.
Yeah, okay, ready? Barack Hussein Obama, have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He spent 2 years and over $100 million on trying to fix it. You know what happened to it? Never even opened.
Right.
He took the water from the river. You know about that, right? It turned out to be putrid, and it destroyed the whole thing. Spent over $100 million. Him and Biden together spent $147 million. You know what happened? Never opened. You don't mention that, right?
But to Philip's
we spent about 10. Much of the money we spent. Oh.
At this point, it's hard not to notice how often Trump brings up Barack Obama, even when the topic has nothing to do with him. It's become a recurring pattern, and in a recent interview, President Obama even addressed Trump's repeated references to him, joking that he's living rent-free in Trump's mind. Take a look.
Sometimes. I mean, the thing about it is, look, you got to ask him what it is that
the obsession.
The obsession.
I know what it is.
I obviously, have a room in his head.
Rent free. You do everything with grace.
A suite in his head. But the thing about it is that was always clear to me. Look, first of all, when I was president, the last thing I had time to do was worry about what
somebody said,
or what my predecessor did.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. I've got work to do.
You locked in.
It's hard to describe if you're doing the job right.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you've got 5-10 things that are real hard, and you have to be constantly focused. The idea that I'd be worrying about
came before
somebody who came before and me trying to measure, like, what's he done today? Look, constantly worrying about that is a strange thing to me. It shows me somebody who's not focused on the American people and the job they're supposed to do.
Donald Trump talks about Obama and Biden frequently, but I loved how President Biden hit back at Donald Trump just last night. He gave a speech in Maryland at a Democratic Party gala where he was invited by Governor Wes Moore, and he just trashed Trump, calling him a loser for his vanity projects, the ballroom, the reflecting pool, the arch he wants to build, and more. Take a look.
Look, it's not just his deliberate distortion and destruction of NATO, and is choosing Putin as over American allies, or the fact that he's diminished our standing in the eyes of the world more than any president in history has. It's not just his vanity projects, tearing down the east wing of the White House, making room for his ballroom, putting his name on the Kennedy Center, building an arch in his own honor, even hiring his own pool guy to fix the reflecting pool. Whoa, what a loser.
See, the thing is, Trump often talks about Obama, Biden, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and other Democrats. He frequently brings up figures like Secretary Clinton as well. But the point critics make is that Trump doesn't really have the same ability to hit back at them in the way they respond to him. So anytime Trump attacks Obama, just know that Obama could hit him 10 times harder and it would go incredibly viral. The same goes for Joe Biden, too. In a recent speech, Biden gave a great point on Trump's vanity projects and truly how much of a loser he is.
Whoa, what a loser. Look, folks. Now, folks, it's not just that. Reflecting poll reflects something even worse than the narcissism and incompetence at the core of this administration. It's the corruption. The corruption. The brazen, blatant corruption. Corruption on a scale never seen before in American history in any administration. Trump has made billions of dollars since returning to the White House. It's simply stunning to me. He has no shame. And frankly, it's embarrassing for the country. But Trump could care less. Making money off the presidency is one of the reasons he wants to be president.
Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the backlash to Donald Trump's post, his obsession with Obama. It's an ongoing thing. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. I'll see you in the next one.
Did this social media post strengthen Donald Trump's message, or did it end up shifting attention toward the very comparisons he may not have intended to invite? That's the key question raised by this discussion. One of the most notable points wasn't simply the photo itself, but what happened after it was shared. The conversation quickly moved beyond the images and became a broader comparison of personal histories, political careers, and public perception. Whether viewers agreed with those comparisons or not, it's clear that the discussion expanded far beyond the original post. Another interesting theme was the recurring focus on Barack Obama. The discussion argues that references to former political opponents continue to shape today's political messaging. It also raises an important question about priorities. Should political leaders spend more time addressing current challenges? Or is revisiting past political rivalries a legitimate part of defending their record? Different viewers will naturally reach different conclusions. The exchange also highlighted how social media can dramatically reshape political communication. A message intended to project confidence can quickly become the subject of widespread criticism, satire, or counter-arguments. In today's media environment, every post is instantly examined, fact-checked, debated, and reinterpreted by supporters and critics alike. Another significant takeaway is that perception often matters as much as intent. Regardless of what a politician hopes to communicate, public reaction ultimately determines whether a message succeeds or falls flat. That's especially true in an era where viral moments can dominate headlines within minutes. So, what do you think? Did this post genuinely backfire, or do you believe critics are reading too much into it? And more broadly, should political leaders focus less on past rivals and more on current policy and governance? Share your opinion in the comments. I always enjoy reading different viewpoints and respectful debates. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future political commentary and breaking discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.